evening. You're joining State of Business. I'm Indivri Amwat. We take a look at tonight's headlines first. Sri Lanka to expedite proposed trade and economic agreements with China, India and Singapore. And authorities promise pensions for protesting disabled armed forces personnel. A look at your stories in detail now. Minister Malik Samaravikrama says Sri Lanka plans to finalize the proposed free trade agreements with China and Singapore, along with the proposed economic and technical cooperation agreement with India soon. Addressing media in Colombo, the minister said EDCA with India will be signed by end this year. He also revealed that the Sri Lanka-China FTA will be signed by early next year and the FTA with Singapore will be inked by end 2016.
Next week, the Chinese delegation will be here to commence discussions on the FTA agreement with our officials. The week after, the Indian delegation will be here, and thereafter, towards the end of the month, end of August, the Singapore delegation will be here. Basically, we have discussed all these agreements, what we hope to discuss with China and India and Singapore, with all the trade chambers, with all the professionals, which comes under the United Professional Movement. And separately, we have also discussed with the GMOA from time to time. So we are continuing the discussion. We have even invited one of them to be in the negotiating team. So I think for the first time, we are opening this out. We have been very transparent. And in addition to that, I have invited all the political parties in Parliament to form a working group so that we can brief them from time to time what's going on and we can get their views as well.
Defence authorities say a pension scheme is being formulated for disabled personnel of the three armed forces and police who had not completed their stipulated service period before they were disabled. According to the present system, an officer needs to complete a service of 10 years and other ranks have to complete 12 years in service to be eligible for a pension payment. A group of disabled soldiers are holding a protest in Colombo, demanding to rectify the pension-related system. Addressing media, Public Relations Officer to the Secretary of Defence, Brigadier Prasanna Chandrasekhara said that less than 4,000 disabled armed forces and police personnel have been affected due to this.
දැනට පිටකොටුවේ කරන උද්ඝෝෂණයට අදාළව කාලවකවානු කීම ප්‍රායෝගික අපහසුයි මොකද අමාත්‍යාංශ හතරක් එකතු වෙන්න ඕනද. නමුත් අපි ඒක පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනට කරන්න යනවා. නමුත් කාලවකවානු ප්‍රායෝගිකව කියන්න අමාරුයි මොකද මේක මුදල් මේකක් ඒ වගේ විශ්‍රාම වැටුප් දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවත් එක්ක කතා කරලා කරන්න ඕනේ දීර්ඝ කාලින වැඩපිළිවෙලක්. හින්දා ක්‍රමවේදය සකස් කරොත් අපිට ඒක කඩිනමින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි තේරුම් කරා මෙහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලන් ආන්නේ දින වකවානු කියන්න දවස් 10කින් පුළුවන්ද කියලා. මම කිව්වා ප්‍රායෝගිකව කියන්න බෑ. තේරෙන්නේ දැන් මෙච්චර කාලෙ හිටපු එක මම කිව්වා පොඩි කාලයක් ඉන්න මොකක් හරි කරලා එකපාරට විශ්‍රාම වැටුප් දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට ඇරියට සල්ලි ගවන්නේ නැහැ එතනින්.
And Sri Lanka Tea Board says local tea production has decreased by 14.26% during June this year compared to the same month of 2015. Accordingly, local tea production stood at 25.3 million kilograms in June 2016, recording a decline of 4.2 million kilograms from June 2015. Sri Lanka Tea Board said cumulative tea production for the period from January to June showed a decrease of 11.07% to 153.8 million kilograms. For the first 6 months of last year, local tea growers had produced 172.9 million kilograms of tea. We take a short break. We'll be back with more on State of Business on the other side. Welcome back. The National Cancer Control Programme has targeted to reduce the burden of oral cancer in Sri Lanka by 15% by year 2020, mainly through the primary prevention and early detection of oral cancer. In 2008, a total of 16,511 newly diagnosed cancer patients were reported to government cancer treatment centres. According to the National Cancer Registry of 2008, oral pharyngeal cancer was 12.8% of all reported cancers in Sri Lanka and carrying the highest mortality rate among different types of cancers, on average 3 deaths per day. These details were revealed at a media seminar in Colombo ahead of World Head and Neck Cancer Day 2016 under the theme Prevent Preventable Cancers. The International Federation of Head and Neck Oncology Societies declared July 27th every year as the World Head and Neck Cancer Day. University of Peradeniya Faculty of Dental Services Center for Research in Oral Cancer says that the reason for the high prevalence of oral cancer in South Asia is the traditional habit of chewing betel.
මේට වඩා ජනතාවට ආසන්න වූ ක්‍රමවේදයකට අපි යන්න වෙයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. ඇඩ්වොකසි ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් ගත්තොත් අප හුදෙක් යම්කිසි මට්ටමකට ඇඩ්වොකසි කරලා නවත්තන්න බැරි වෙයි. මීට වඩා එහා ගිය. ඒ කියන්නේ මිනිසුන්ට බලපෑම් කළ හැකි තැනකට අපිට යන්නට වෙයි. මොකද පොලිසිය වල ලොකු අයට අපි මේක කිව්වහම ඒගොල්ලෝ ගිහිල්ලා අල්ලනවා මේ බිඩා බාබුල් අරව මේව අල්ලනවා. හැබැයි අල්ලලා නඩු දාපුවාම නඩුවේ නීතිඥ මහත්තුරු කතා කරලා ප්‍රශ්න දෙකයි අහන්නේ පොලිසිය දුර්මුඛ වෙනවා. නොදැනීම ඉන්සෙන්සිබල් විදියට නොදැනීම මරණය කරා යන දේවල් අපට පාලනය කළ හැකිද?
And now we take a look at a few other stories making news throughout the day in brief. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs today distributed 70 million rupees for families of deceased or disabled migrant workers. Compensation were distributed among 49 families. Delegations of Japan and Sri Lanka held consultation on national development cooperation and economic policy dialogue in Colombo today. The meetings had focused on ways to assist Sri Lanka's national development plan and to promote trade and investment between the two nations. The Minister of Skills Development, Mahinda Samarasinghe, says Sri Lanka is hopeful that EU GSP Plus will be renewed by December this year. Addressing media, he said several countries have also agreed to help Sri Lanka after witnessing the progressive changes taking place here. Stock Watch is coming up next after this break. Welcome back to the news. At the Colombo Bourse, shares ended the day weaker, trading on thin volumes as selling on large cap counters continued to drag the Bourse down. Local investors continue to drive the turnover, with the majority being retail investors in the backdrop of low foreign activity. The all-share price index dipped 9.24 to close at 6,387.85, while the S&P SL20 index dipped 5.21 to close trading at 3,406.75. Turnover for the day amounted to 265 million rupees, with nearly 24 million shares trading hands. The top traded counters were Tokyo Cement non-voting, which contributed 20.9 million rupees to turnover, Tokyo Cement 18.7 million rupees, Nation Lanka Finance 17.8 million rupees, and Haley's Fibre 17.4 million rupees to turnover. In the meantime, foreign inflows amounted to around 25.6 million rupees, while foreign outflows totaled 29.6 million rupees during today's session. Here's a look at the day's foreign currency rates. That wraps up tonight's edition of State of Business. Good night.